tape for this, our main event of the evening.
A day after DEKA Mile, so completed. Okay, so when you do a DEKA event, because there's 3, they're quite clever. They give you the medal, which is DEKA finisher, and then they get a trifecta bit, so 1/3 done. I'm gonna watch yesterday's footage whilst commentating with you guys, and we will see what is going on, and I can give you a bit of a breakdown of what's happening as well. So before we go into the video of what was expected on that day, or what did I expect from Gui, what I thought his strategy was going to be was to go off quick, try and get enough gap that by the end I don't catch him up. It was going to be one of 2 ways. That was going to happen, or he was going to blast off and he was going to sprint away and fucking leave me. So as we set off now, you see straight away he's into a faster paced run than me, and he does come back into the lunges before I do. So you can see there he's about 5 or 6 lunges ahead of me, which this, in my defense, was on purpose. I knew that would happen. As you can see, the first one, my leg just fucking went underneath me a little bit. It was like a bit of a shock to the system. But as you can see, Guion here is absolutely flying through the ram lunges. So they've changed the standard now that you've got to be both feet are front of the line and 1 foot has to be behind the line, like to do it. Whereas before, the strictness of it wasn't really there. And you also need to put the ram back straight up, sort of thing. So I think he's about 8 or 9 lunges ahead of me, got into the second section, which I kind of expected. So going into the row, this is one of the stations where I knew I would be able to close a bit of gap on Guion. And as you can see, as he starts rowing, I think if I'm right, I came onto the row around 110 meters behind him, 110, 112 meters behind him. But as expected, he gets off fast and he does go. So my transitioning here was probably one of the best transitions onto the row I've ever had. My feet clipped straight in, didn't adjust them, and it just like healed in quite nicely. But I tried to play a bit of mind games because I had to look over and I saw that I was only 100 odd meters behind him. But I knew I was going to be there for a couple of minutes. I think I was pulling about 146, 145 at this point here. I was looking at Guion and he was about 152, and then he went down to 141. And when I started laughing and he went to 141, which is in this bit here, I knew then he was being fucking serious. He was deadly, deadly serious about it. So we both were fucking going for it here, and as you can see, he does finish a little bit ahead of me, which, as I say, the first few stages, this was expected. This is exactly how I thought it was going to go. It was exactly the theory I had in my mind. He's going to go off too quick and he's not going to be able to keep it. Like, the cardio is different in this training to boxing or running, as Gui has done a lot of. I knew that the compromised legs would be something that he would struggle with, or I thought he would struggle with. So there we go. Now he is finishing this around, I think about, so he finished around 25-30 seconds ahead of me, I think. So as you can see, I'm coming up to the end of my row now. And then what happens here? So yeah, he's bang on 30 seconds ahead of me here. One of the main differences I saw is that between the stations, Guion was running and I was going on a slower pace. So Gui's on the box jumps now. As you can see, he is, other than the fact that he fell on one of them, he's ahead by a long way here. So there was a slight issue with the traffic. There was a slight issue here with traffic and stuff as well. People would start parking their cars, and listen, it was fair for both of us, but it was a bit of a fucking pain in the ass in a way. And it's not Caveman's fault at all. So he's finished this section now before I even start. The advantage I've got here, I believe, is that I am a little bit shorter, so these are a lot easier for me than they are for Gui, who's a lot taller and he's got fucking long gangly legs. So going into the third station, really, there's not much in it, maybe 30 seconds or so. To be honest with you, I've left my hat there as well, so there you go. So you see the difference. I stop, I take a breath, then I run. Guion on the other hand just goes. I think this is the last one here now. So sit-ups, 25 med ball sit-ups. So ball has to touch behind the thing and then touch in between your legs. So I gave Guion a little tip on this, and the little fucker used it to his advantage. Being fucking 6'1", he should not fucking, I shouldn't have told him, I should have just done it quietly. It would have gained me a couple of seconds on him. So we're at the fourth station. As you can see, the gap is getting bigger. Okay, the gap is getting bigger, but with that in mind, I am on the station as he finishes. Okay, I arrive at the station as he finishes. Which I knew going up to about halfway, this was going to be a bit of a thing where me and Gui were going to be very close station wise, and if I could make sure he doesn't pass me on any of the runs, like finish the station and start the run before I start the station, I knew I had a chance of catching him up at one of the stations. Med ball slams, med ball sit-ups, I think they were quite nice this time around, whereas the first time I ever did them, yeah, they weren't pleasant at all, to be honest with you. So watch until the end of the video and I'll give you the tip of what I use with the med ball sit-ups. So Guion has now started the ski before I finish the sit-ups. Now this is the interesting point, because I knew I could catch him on the ski, because that's not his strongest section. And look, I look over and see him and I was like, fucker, little fucker. And he is pulling big numbers here. He's pulling very, very good numbers, to be fair with him. I don't know what his numbers were. I've not spoke to him about it. I don't really know what, if he knew what he was looking at to know what numbers he was pulling. But I'm guessing he's about 135, 145 maybe in that bracket, because the time he did on this was really fucking impressive. And once again, having that longer arms would generate that power, and he has more range of motion. Whereas myself, I've got a different style. I'm obviously shorter, so I go for the strokes per minute are a little bit different between us. So I come on now as Guion is still there, but he is also very close to fucking finishing as well. But you see the difference. So big pull, half, there we go. So you see the difference in, I go for his full range, using the tricep as well, really extending out, whereas Guion will go into more of a squat. And that is, like I say, this isn't too far now. I think Guion will be in his 400s, I'm on about 110, 112 maybe. So there was a good couple of minutes difference now in here. So you can see he's coming to the end of his station, bang, gone. But there's a couple of seconds lost there. I hear in the background Guion's judge going, "Yep, ready." And I was like, "Fucker." But I thought I'd keep it, close a bit of a gap. So you can see now I've changed the style. Instead of being a narrow, I've gone for a bit more wide, using a bit more of the lats, really pulling it as far down as I can, using as much of the hamstrings as I can, rather going into the full quads and everything. I'm using as much hamstring as I can because a lot of the movements are not hamstring dominated. So if I fatigue slightly on the hamstring here, I'm kind of okay with it. And then the next station from this then was the farmer's carry, which was an interesting one because once again it goes down to who can handle the strength of it, who can carry it on. Do you know what I mean? Like, so every now and again my judge will show me my time, which I massively appreciate him. But look at this now, Guion is on the farmer's carry and I've not finished yet. So Guion needs 10 laps in total, 5 there, 5 back. And look, I'm not finished on the ski yet. So he's 2 laps in before I finish the ski, and he's going for his 3rd. Like, I've not watched this back until now, so this is quite interesting, like, for me to see what was going on behind me. So this is 4, and I was walking onto that one. So yeah, you can see Guion back and forth now. He's coming up to the end of his farmer's carry. I think this is his last one on the farmer's carry. You can see his legs are running. And then I'm on the farmer's carry then. These felt really heavy, a lot heavier than normal, and I don't know why that is, what the main difference was here. Because at high rocks I was okay with them and I carried them for double the distance. But with this, for some reason, I don't know what it was. And then obviously we've got Guion, who's on the assault bike, who has hurt his shoulder, so he did not want to use his arms at the assault bike. And that is reason why you see, and you might see on mine as well, we're both going leg heavy on him. And main reason for that is, I don't know what Guion's saying here, but yeah, he's saying something here. I think he's asking about his time or something. So my bike didn't come on. There we go, now it came on. So usually it comes on straight away when you start pedaling. Strategy was easy 5 calories, push the next 10, easy 5, push the next 5. Okay, so it's 25 calories in total. When I did this on the bike in the gym, I did it in under a minute. This bike felt a lot slower than the one at the gym. I don't know what was the difference. Like, there was something there, wasn't the difference. So there we go back into that, like, of use the legs, just go with it sort of thing. Let it run rather than trying to force it. And then bang, we go into the force using the arms, because you've got to remember, weighted burpees are coming up, the over shoulder are coming up. They're horrible exercises to use with your arms. So my thing was, if I can save a little bit of energy on the legs, I know I've got the tank, but the tank isn't that bad. Or I thought so. And then Judge just says, listen, when you get off here, remember, we're going to go into this next sort of thing, make sure. And I was, mate, whoever the judge was, absolutely fucking top fella. Absolute top fella. I'm pretty sure he does high rocks and stuff as well, but yeah, absolutely fucking sensational. Very motivating, very pushing, like, fucking, come on, don't fucking let that little shit win. I say that and he fucking, he did fly ahead a little bit. So we are coming up to the last couple of calories now. I'm just editing where we're at. Last couple of calories. And then what, we go into the last push of it, I think. And then you can see Guion's judge keep looking over at me to see where I am, to tell him where I'm at. Which, listen, all in love and fucking war, eh? All in the name of love and war, as they say. So we come to the end of the assault bike. I should have just fucking jumped at. by this time, the old fellow was very fatigued. So I was on the over shoulders whilst Guion was on the one ahead of me now. So this is the station that caught me out last time, and it caught me out again this time round. It is not pleasant, it's not great, and I fucking hate it. I don't know what I can do to fucking... I mean, it's heavier than a sack of potatoes over your shoulder. And yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of searchers would help. But it was one of them moments where I am fatigued here, sort of thing. The judge showed me my time again, and I was like, and I don't know, just took a fucking breath instead of fucking going for it. So yeah, one of them really where, as you can see, it was the one exercise that I hate. And what you'll see now is that Guion is coming to the end of his tank before, and then his judge just tells him, listen, you've got this, and then you only got the burpees left and you're done. And go, go, go. So what happens here? My first push, so as you can see, I push into the line and I go to pull and the fucking handle comes off. No excuses whatsoever in that exercise, but the handle goes off. What am I meant to do? As you can see, I'm very, very annoyed at this stage with that. It's just a bit one of them where you're like, for fuck's sake, sort of thing. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like a fucking shit sort of motion where you didn't really want that to happen. And listen, it's no one's fault. It's not fucking anyone's fault. Obviously, people could be like, oh, well, he judge. The thing was clipped on, but it wasn't clipped on, if that makes sense to anyone. So yeah, we come to... I don't know what it was with the old fucking tank yesterday. It just felt heavy. To be honest with you, whereas before it didn't feel heavy, it felt like it went really smooth. This time felt quite resistancy. So I'm changing up the tactic on it to try and smooth things off. But I miscounted on one of them. I thought I'd done 5, but I'd done 4, which fucking annoyed me a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, I think we're going to see Guion come in now onto his burpees. I think we might see that any second now. So just having a conversation with the judge about the clip. He's asking, is it still on properly? I fucking hope so. So yeah, it seemed to be working a lot better when I was doing that pull. And here we go. So Guion, I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't think we had footage of Guion's burpees, but he has finished. So judge talking to the owner, just saying, listen, the fucking tank came apart. And then, like I say, we come to the last one. I think so. So yeah, Guion has finished. And I have still got... Oi. I've still got one exercise to go. Which are the burpees, which I fucking despise. So yeah, we just need to get the tank back over the line, the front wheel over the line, and then burpees which I'm still feeling. So they've changed the fucking standards of it. So before you could just go sort of thing, but now you'll see you've got to go straight arm. Now this is 20 kilos. Last exercise of the day. Okay, chest has to touch the floor, touch the ram. And then you'll see at one point, I think it's the last few, I could feel my legs. They were just like non-existent. They were just like, nah, not today, mate. They're not happening. So I had to do push presses because I was trying to do like a fucking clean sort of fucking thing. It was straight up. And then, see, I'm starting to go like that. And I think I should have done that from the start. Where it go bang, one, up, sort of thing. There you go, see? That would have been, I think, an easier motion rather than trying to go bang straight up, because I thought I had a couple more done and the judge said no. So, see, that's where I started to struggle more than anything. Was that one there, I was like, nah, my arms are really fucking struggling here. Fair play to Guillon's judge, he did give me a little bit of support, give a bit of a helping hand, and as we go to the last couple, it was a very, very tiring thing. For some reason, it just, yeah, I don't know, there's no excuses, it just, one of the weirdest things I think was how warm it was inside to then how cold it was outside. Like, I'm not even sweating. Not sweating at all, and like I'm on medication at the moment that make me sweat like fuck, and like there was no drop of sweat on me, and it was a weird motion of a weird like thing of see, I've got to change it now, but it was a weird motion, it was a weird feeling like I was out of oxygen but I weren't sweating sort of thing. So like my judge was telling me, just keep moving, don't stop moving, keep fucking moving, like the Step song, isn't it? Don't stop moving, can you feel the music? So yeah, going into the last couple and debatable rep, but yeah, last couple of reps and we are done. How did we get on? I am not sure if I've got the 100% times right. Let me just double check something. So Guillon's time was 25 minutes and 12 seconds. Which has won him his age category. Okay, he's won him his age. He is the fastest in his age. And myself, I was 31:24, I think. So yeah, 31:24. So I did set myself a time of 27 minutes. That was 2.5 minutes slower, two and a bit minutes slower than my previous attempt at DEKA, which is quite weirdly concerning for me. Like, it doesn't sit right with me. I don't know why that is. I don't know why I was two and a bit minutes slower. Am I not as fit as what I was last year? I would argue that I'm fitter, but also the data and facts are there to be seen, sort of thing. So it's an interesting one. Very, very interesting. It's something I will absolutely look at and work at. I don't think the car park situation helped. I know that's not caveman training's fault. I think I enjoyed doing it against Gui, which, I mean, it does go to show that you can transfer one cardio to another sort of thing, like without really training, because like Guillon's never trained for any of this. He was googling some of the movements that week, in the last week. I sent him a video with all the movements, so he knew what was well, he tells me that he didn't know anything. What he does himself is a different story. A little bit disappointed in my own performance. Very proud of Guillon with his though, but like I say, I'd have liked to have a personal best there, and I thought having Guillon there would have pushed that to be a PB, but it went the other way. So yeah, and the little tip with the sit-ups, if you are doing your sit-ups, put your heels into the mat, like at the edge of the mat. It'll stop them going back and forth. It'll have that sort of restriction or resistance, and that's what I said to Gui before doing it. I was like, listen, do me a favour, everyone's going the other way on it, but everyone's face like sitting on the mat and like touching outside the mat. I was like, turn around the other way, put your heels on the mat, inside the mat sort of thing, and just do it that way. It'll be a lot faster for you. So yeah, that's where we are up to with it all. We are at it again on Sunday next week. Anglesey half marathon. I don't even think there's a competition this time round, to be honest with you. I think Gwion will set a silly time, but this time I'm going to take my GoPro with me, and obviously film what footage I can whilst on the track, and if anyone can take any footage whilst we're passing or something, please send them over, that'd be great, because I'll use it in my clips and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's where we're up to, that's what is going on. If you do like this kind of series, put in some suggestions on the bottom. I'm pretty sure me and Gui are pretty happy to take on each other in pretty much anything. And don't suggest fucking boxing. Don't suggest boxing. Don't be stupid, okay? Don't be stupid. Like, fuck me. Don't suggest boxing or anything like that. Like, eating challenges and stuff. Like, I'll take the little shit on. But he also does have 12-year advantage over me. So, 11 years younger than me. So, at my peak at 19, would I be keeping up with him, or would he be keeping up with me? Might be a different story. But thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe.